Welcome to Pedagogy of a Portrait. My name is Dina Wright. I am the Content Area Specialist for Technology Integration for Lyon County School District. And today's episode, we have some lovely seniors from Smith Valley. Before they introduce themselves, I want to share a little bit about our county. We are located in northern Nevada, about an hour from Lake Tahoe. Our district consists of about 50,000 people, serves 18 schools, which is about 9,000 students. That includes 5 smaller, widely dispersed, unique, and special communities, Fernley being the largest, then Dayton, Yerington, Silver Springs, and Smith Valley, which is where we are today. And the purpose of this podcast really is to empower our community through lifelong learning by sharing experiences, ideas, and strategies that foster growth. And we also hope to provide some inspiration and discovery along the way. So we're going to get started with introductions, and I'm here with my lovely colleagues. So as you introduce yourselves, I want you to share who you are, what you do, and then finish this sentence. I could not live without.
All right. Well, hello. I'm Carrie Bunyard again. I'm the academic coordinator for the district, and yes, we are in Smith Valley this morning, and it was such a pretty drive down. It's so pretty coming through the valley, and this school is just so welcoming, and everybody is just like a little family here. So excited to be here. One thing I cannot live without, I think if you know me, my toothbrush. Like I go everywhere with my toothbrush. It's in my desk. I've got one in my bag. So yes, if I'm ever stranded, like we were just talking a few minutes ago.
You will oftentimes find Carrie in the bathroom brushing her teeth after lunch.
After lunch, yes.
I'm Jillian Urton. I'm a senior at Smith Valley, and I probably couldn't live without my family. I've lived here my whole life. They used to have preschool here. I went to that, but they don't do that anymore. So I don't know. I haven't really gotten out of Smith Valley, so I'm kind of nervous to see where I'm going to end up, but we'll see. It's definitely going to be different than here. There's nothing in my town.
Yeah.
So
an adventure for sure.
I'm Sophie Stanton. I've gone to school here my whole life. We started together, and we're going to end together, which is pretty cool. I have 7 siblings, 6 of which have gone through or is going to school here at Smith. I'm going to be the first kid to go out of state for college. I'm going to University of Idaho in Moscow, and all my other siblings went to here in Reno, and so I'm pretty excited. I play volleyball, played basketball and softball. I'm in as many clubs as I can, and I don't think I could live without my mom. She's always been like a support system for me, and I really like her food. She's a good cook.
Yeah, you're going to miss that probably when you leave.
Yeah,
huh?
I am.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here today.
And how about you, Miss Wright? What could you not live without? I mean, I know your family, you have to pick something like a toothbrush now because they just, go with like your running shoes or something.
I was going to say, I can't live without my running shoes. Right? I love running. It's my
therapy, stress reliever.
It's my therapy. All right, so we're going to start with the first question. And the first question is, name a teacher or a coach or someone that you'll always remember or have an impact on your life in Lyon County School District. And tell us a little bit why.
my volleyball coach, Amber, she came when I was a freshman, but she wasn't our coach when I was a freshman. She kind of was just helping. And then my coach that I had at the time, she transferred to Yerington, so she's the vice principal there. So she was really helpful, and I was on varsity as a freshman, so it was kind of like, you're a baby on a team with people who are like, oh my God, there's a freshman on our team. So I was like, whoa. So she was really helpful, and when I didn't get something, she always pulled me to the side. And then I tore my ACL my junior year at practice, like 5 minutes before practice got out. And I'm pretty sure she told me that I wasn't supposed to hit the ball, and then I hit the ball, and then I tore my ACL. So she was really welcoming, and she made me feel like a part of the team, even though I couldn't do anything, because when you're in school, NIAA is really strict. So I couldn't touch a ball, I couldn't be on the roster, I couldn't dress out for certain things, but she always made sure that I was included and accommodated everything that I needed. And I know that would always want everybody on her team to do good things, even if she wasn't the one who gets to bring them to that aspect. So I think that I'll probably always remember her. And
That's awesome.
And that was your junior year that happened?
yeah.
Did you get to play this last year then? Were you
I
able to
did
come
get to
back?
play this year, but it was kind of like, it was different because I only play volleyball here. So I don't play like 5 sports, but I play volleyball. And then when I'm done with high school, I play club volleyball, so it's a year-round thing. So I was making good teams, and I was setting myself up to do good things in the future before I tore my ACL. So it was kind of like difficult for me because it was a slow start.
Perseverance and definitely a challenge, something that you had to overcome
Yeah.
as well. Shout out to Amber.
I'd have to say an inspirational person here at Smith Valley would be Mrs. Rogocheski. I've known her forever. When my siblings used to have her, she used to know me as so-and-so's little sister. And that's all I've been known for a while until I got to about middle school. And then she became my coach. And then I became Sophie. So it's really cool how it like progressed. I slowly became not little sister anymore. And now they call my sister Sophie's little sister. And I was like, that's pretty cool. She's amazing. She's the health teacher and PE teacher here. If you know me, I am not a runner. I've never claimed to run. And Mrs. Rogo's always pushed me to do my best, even though I did not want to at all. I had no desire to. And she's like, no, you're going to do it. And I was like, I don't think I can. And she's like, no, you can. You can do it. And she always pushed me to be my very best. And she was I think we had her as basketball coach in middle school. I love Mrs. Rogo.
So you got to have many years with her
yes.
as a teacher and as a coach.
We'll go in and ref the little kids' games that she's coaching.
So do you like to run now?
Oh, no.
You still don't like to run?
I don't like it, but I'll do it.
You'll
And
do it.
yeah.
So can you tell us a challenge that you've overcome, either elementary school, middle school, high school, academically, athletically, any sort of challenge that you've had?
So I've mentioned before, I live in Yerington and I drive over. That is an NIAA issue. Because I live in Yerington, so I can't play sports here because I'm on a variance. So our freshman year, I was homeschooled and I wasn't allowed to go, or I wasn't going to Smith Valley. It's not that I wasn't allowed. My mom decided I should stay home and do that. And so my sophomore year, I came here again, came back, and I wasn't allowed to play varsity sports. In Smith Valley, we don't have enough to field 2 teams most of the time. So I was allowed to play like JV volleyball, but that's the only JV team we have for girls here at Smith. So I wasn't allowed to play like basketball and softball. So I like had to manage, and at the time it was a really big deal. But like as looking back, it's not as a big deal, but at the time it was really like that's the only reason I am here. Like I had to stay involved, so I wasn't allowed to play. I was manager, and I made it work from there.
Yeah, that's tough because I can imagine what that maybe would feel like, not being able to participate in something that you're passionate about.
And here's Smith Valley, you don't really get told you can't do something. They help you and push you to do all different things, and they've never told me I couldn't do something, and they told me that, and I was like, really? Like, that's never happened before. But I still got to stay, and I got to practice with them, so I was like the practicing manager. I went to all the games, I did everything. I stayed involved as much as I could without being involved.
Yeah, and having that experience too, right? You're going to have those moments in life where you're going to be told no,
Yeah.
right? And thinking through, like, how can I do this with the best attitude, or how can I approach this in a way that's still going to help me be involved and included.
So like overall, it helped me in the future. Like if you can't do something, you're gonna work. You still work hard at it, and like work as much as you can, even if it's not possible. Like, I mean, you know.
Yeah, and it feels good to work hard.
Yeah.
Afterwards, right?
Yeah.
So like I said before, I tore my ACL. That's like my whole thing nowadays, because that's like, it's really changed like how I can like live my life, which sounds really dramatic, but it totally is. Okay, just trust me. But before, I had never gotten hurt. I think the worst thing I went to the doctor for was like, I like cut myself on a picture frame one time and I had to get stitches, but like that was it. Like I was pretty healthy. Like I wasn't around that kind of atmosphere, and it was weird because I think a lot of people had a hard time believing me because I was at practice and I just landed. Like it wasn't anything crazy. I just jumped and I landed like I always did, and then I just yeah, like
we were all there. It was traumatic on her, but like traumatic on us as well. Like we were there when we saw it. we thought she was fine, and then
Yeah,
she wasn't.
because I think the biggest thing is I didn't cry. Like, I heard a pop sound, and then I fell down, and I was like, oh, I fell down. And then I tried to get up, and my whole entire left leg was numb. Like, I couldn't move my leg, and I was like, just laying on the ground, and my coach was like, what is up? And I was like, I don't know, like, I can't move my leg. And they were like, oh my gosh. And then I did cry because, like, everybody was, like, just in a circle, just, like, watching me, and I was like, this is really embarrassing. I cry all the time, so, like, that was not usual for me, but it was, like, kind of just weird because I think I was more scared, like, it didn't hurt. But then I went to the doctor the next day, and I couldn't walk, and I still couldn't move my leg, and I was like, I don't know what's going on with me. And they did x-rays and stuff, and then they're like, oh, you're going to do an MRI, and I was like, oh, what is that? Because, like, I didn't do it, so it's kind of scary because, you know, they put you in this giant box, and they tell you you're not allowed to move, but I think a lot of people, when I, like, came back, and I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on, because it takes a while for you to get MRI results back. A lot of people thought I was just, like, faking it or being dramatic, because, like, I don't know why. It was a lot of talk of, oh, Jill's faking it, because a girl a year before me tore her ACL, and she was, like, screaming, and, like, she said it was the worst pain that she's ever had. And I told them, I was like, my doctor thinks I tore my ACL, but, you know, he has to check the MRI. And they're like, no, that's not true. You were totally fine. And I was like, okay. And then when I came back and I was like a complete tear in my ACL, MCL, meniscus, like everything. And then they were like, oh my gosh, like actually you're out for a year. So it's like awful. And you have to get surgery, which I had never done before. So it was a lot. And I pushed a lot of people away because all of my friends played volleyball and they all like could do the things that I couldn't do. And it really like bothered me in a sense that they were not like telling me about practice to be like, you weren't there, but like it kind of like for me was like, well, I don't want to hear about it, like I'm not able to do it because it was kind of like a selfish like thing for me because it was different. So I pushed a lot of people away, and it was like by myself for a lot of it, and I wanted to be, so it was fine. But it like I struggled like grade wise because I'd always been, you know, 4.0 in elementary school. I had stars and smiley faces and they didn't give you grades. Like I'd always been like this good student, and then I just stopped caring. Like, I didn't want to do it because I couldn't do it. And I was like, there's nothing that makes me want to do school right now. So I'm just going to lay here and do my physical therapy and get better. And I did struggle with my grades. So I think I learned the consequences of that because when you're a junior, that's what they look at when you go to colleges and stuff. So that's my biggest question, like, during scholarships and stuff. They're like, what happened your junior year? I was like, let me tell you about my UCL. Like, but I don't know. I kind of figured out, like, nobody's there to, like, make me feel bad just because I can't do it. Like, that's my own fault for landing the way that I did. And so it was harder for me to, like, figure out that just because you can't do something doesn't mean your whole life ended. Because I'd never experienced that before. And I was like, oh, it's over. I'm done. I can't do it. And they didn't think I'd be able to play my senior year. So I was just kind of, like, didn't know what to do. So, no, that was probably the hardest thing. And I still can't do stuff. Like, I still can't jump or, like, go up the stairs. And when I go down the stairs, my whole leg shakes. It's like this whole thing. But I'm, like, good now. But
were you able to get support from family members or school counselors when it came to...
I hate that. Like, I hated admitting to the fact that I was, like, not very, like... I was like, I don't really want to. Like, I wasn't, like, sad or anything. Like, I kind of was. But, like, I wasn't, like, depressed, I wouldn't say. But, like, no, I think that my parents kind of were like, dude, just get over it. Like, it's fine. Because, like, that's what I needed. Like, that's the kind of person that I am. Yeah. And so they were like, you're going to be okay. And they were super supportive, too. But I think it got to the point where they were like, your life isn't ending. Like, you need to just get it together and do your job. You're going to be fine. But you have to be fine in the future, too. You can't just, like, think about now. So then I kind of was like, did have support from like my friends and family, but I didn't think I needed support. Like,
did the switch flip when you realized that this is important for college?
I was doing college classes for the first time, and I had like C's, and I think that I was like, it's college. But then I think I was like, oh my gosh, this is not that hard. Actually, why am I not doing good?
But she's still our she's our valedictorian, so she pulled through and she made it work.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that, because you're
yeah.
valedictorian and you're the salutatorian.
Yeah. We've always been like pushed each other to do better ever since we were in kindergarten.
Yeah,
'Cause
I love that.
We've been friends since preschool,
Yeah.
as long as we could. And so, like, we've always pushed each other to be, like, the better, like, keep us going and all that. And, like, we play sports together since we were little. And, yeah. So, a lot of it, like, academic-wise and playing sports it's hard to, like, juggle all of it, I would say. But it's worth it. Like, and the Jumpstart is a huge help.
Mhm.
So, if you can excel in Jumpstart, you can excel in your grades for Smith Valley-wise, too.
Yeah.
Will you both be speaking at graduation?
Yes.
Okay. Have you shared what you have written in your speeches, or are you keeping that private until day of?
I have said to literally anybody who will listen to my speech, I've read it to them because I'm really bad at talking in front of people. And so I feel like if everybody knows what I'm going to say, it's not going to be like that bad. But everybody else won't tell me what their speech is.
Oh, so
I haven't told anyone.
And-
I'm that person.
and you're going to keep it that way?
I mean, I can share
Yeah.
about it. So, going to school here forever, I've been to a lot of graduations. I've seen the good, I've seen the bad, I've seen the really sad. So I am talking about how saying the words "I can't wait" and like what that means to you. So someone once asked me, they're like, "Why can't you wait?" And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, is there a reason you can't wait to like leave? Like you can't wait? And I was like, well, there's a reason. Like I want to enjoy my time here, but I don't know why I can't wait. And so I write my speech about why I can't wait and how everyone says it. Like even the little things like I can't wait to be in high school, and here we are at the end of our high school career and sort of thing. And like saying I can't wait for summer, and you're just like wishing away all your time where you should be enjoying it. It's not saying I haven't, but sometimes I wish like I gotta take a minute and smell the roses and enjoy them.
And be present in
Yeah.
the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
We might have to come down and listen
I
to
know.
that.
Graduation.
I know. So you are truly a product of Lyon County School District. You have gone to school since pre-K all up through 12th grade. Can you tell us something that Lyon County School District has done well for you, and then tell us something that we can improve upon? What can we do better?
I think that I don't know what any other Lyon County school looks like, but I'm pretty sure that we're one of the smallest ones here. We have like 70-something kids in the high school.
75.
75. So I think everybody here is so close, and I think that the staff at Smith does a really good job making sure that like everybody's getting along, and when we're not getting along, we figure it out. It's kind of like a family, you know, like when you fight with your siblings, your parents like hug it out, stop it. I think that they do that really well here, but then they also like respect, like, you know, you don't have to be friends with that person, but they also like keep it civil. So I think that the best part is the teachers and the staff, because they're so inclusive and they're so like willing to help. And when you do Jumpstart, because it's college classes, that was like the biggest thing that I learned is college professors do not like really care. Like if you're gonna fail their class, you're gonna fail their class. Like they're not gonna like reach out to you, and here they do. So I think they do a really good job like making sure that everybody's being successful. As far as the district goes and like improving and stuff, I think there's a lot of things that we can't do that we want to do. Like fundraisers and stuff, we used to be able to do however many we needed, and we're like allowed to do one a semester, and then like little ones. I think it's just hard to have to be able to do stuff when you go to such a small school and then not be able to do it at the same time, because I don't know. I feel like we have to pay the price for a lot of the bigger schools because we don't really do much over here. But
Yeah.
it's like a safety thing, and I get it, but at the same time it's like, I don't know, we can't do this because we can't do this, and I think that's probably the biggest thing is trying to like go around that. But,
So I'm the senior class president this year, so I was able to see a lot of the things that as seniors we have rules of the things that we have to get done. And so I think that's amazing that like I was able to see like the rule side and like all the list of things we cannot do. And like Jillian said, a lot of bigger schools how are run different in the district. So like Fernley, for example, things are ran very different than they are here. And a lot of that we do get the backlash of that. One wouldn't think Fernley is as big as it is compared to us, but they're actually like a lot bigger. We have 20 kids in our graduating class. I don't know how many's in Fernley, but there's a few more.
Mm-hmm.
And they have some rules that it makes sense at the time, and then they apply them to the district. And then they go to tell us here, and we're like, why? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Right, because the communities are so different.
Yes.
Population.
And it's, yeah.
Mhm.
And I'd have to agree with Jillian. The Smith Valley, our teachers and staff, that's the best part. They are so supportive, and they will support you doing anything. For example, like, Jillian and I just graduated WNC Monday, and our staff is so wonderful. They sent us flowers, and they weren't able to be there for that day, but they sent us flowers to make sure that we were supported because we were the only two, and they make you feel supported. They're like your best friends, but they're also teachers too, so
Yeah.
they know.
So having those relationships are
Yes.
huge.
And like our principal, Mr. Mattias, he went to school with my dad. So I knew him before he went in. He's like, hey, and I say, hi, Mr. Mattias. Like, he'll show up at my house, and I'm like, hi, Mr. Mattias. How are you? For, like, family reasons, they have, I think he was at some family function. I was like, oh, hi, this is my principal. So it's crazy I love how close-knit.
So you two were the only two that did the WNC, the Jumpstart?
We were
In
the
your
only two
graduating
that
class?
graduated. I think that there was a lot of kids that did it as dual credits,
Mhm.
not necessarily like get their associate's degree, but we were the only two from our junior year who like you have to do it your junior year because it takes 2 years to graduate from community college. So we were the only two that did it and then stuck with it and got all of our credits and dropped a couple classes and figured it out. But we were the only two that graduated.
And as you went through the program, you were taking the same classes at the same time? Or
We were the first year. The
Yes.
second year is more towards your major. So I got my AA.
And then I got my associate's of science.
okay.
So we took different, like I didn't take as many science classes as she did. But
But
Yeah.
we did take some of the few ones, and they're like, hey, I need help on this. And
Yeah.
like, we can help each other. It was really cool.
So what's next for you guys? So after graduation, I know you're going to Idaho,
Yep.
Moscow.
Yep, I'm going to the University of Idaho.
Okay, and you're going to be studying.
Agricultural management and systems.
Okay. And what is that?
So it's seen as different things. A lot of these are going to be like how to manage a farm and like the basic things. And like waterways I can work on. So the ditches and all the water systems you see when you drive out here, I would be able to figure out like how to do all that stuff.
Wow.
Yep.
Very, very important. Mhm.
I'm going to Oklahoma State University.
Whoa, that is so far away.
Yeah. So I'm kind of scared because it's so different from here. But it's actually not. It's in Stillwater. And everybody that asks me, I always tell them to go. And I think it's probably getting really annoying because I'm like, go to Stillwater. Like, they're like, no. But it's like a lot like Smith. Everybody's so inclusive there. So it's definitely really far away, but I feel like it feels a lot like home. So, yeah.
And how
I'm
do you-
going to
And what are you going to study there?
agricultural business.
Okay.
So,
And how do your families feel about you leaving?
My parents are like, no, it's so far. But, they support me in my decision, so.
Mine are really excited. They were like, you don't want to go to UNR? And I said, no, I don't really want to. I want to see somewhere and be able to bring something back to the valley and like something new and learn different. But my mom's pretty excited, so is my dad. They get to go visit me, and they're like, we get to go see somewhere different.
Yeah.
Now we have to go. And I was like, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we can't wait to see you spread your wings and fly. I'm sure as your parents probably are so proud. If you could give one piece of advice for an upcoming freshman as they enter high school, what would it be?
Whenever I'm asked this question, I always answer it with the same thing, and it's to just breathe. Because when I was in 8th grade, I couldn't wait to be a freshman because I could do so many more things. Like, I could play high school volleyball, I could do FFA, and I could do all the things that I really like to do, but you can't do when you're, like, a little baby. And I think that I thought about it, like, way too much. Like, you get into high school, and then the next step is graduating high school, and then you have to go to college, and then you have to, like, leave everybody, and it's kind of scary.
But like do as much as you can, and because my best memories are when I'm staying late with student council decorating and like things like that. Those are one of my best memories. Or FFA, and those, they're amazing. Like the friends you make throughout them. I mean, you know everyone here, but you make like closer friendships with all those people.
Yeah.
And it's really amazing to be able to say, oh yeah, I was a part of the class that did this, or I was a part of student council and we did all this. And it's amazing feeling to be able to say you did this.
How proud.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time and coming to school earlier than you usually do.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.